confirm. All right? Just call and confirm the appointment, and you won't have to. Anybody agree with that?
Yeah.
All right?
Absolutely.
So one of the rules is just show up. Now, if you just show up, I can tell you that about 75% of the time they'll be there. 25% they won't be. Now, what happens if you just show up and they're not there? What do?
Put another label.
Put another label there, and this time write second attempt. Okay? The second thing to do is the slide dial confirmation. So you use that slide dial technology, you have a recorded message, and you don't want to talk to them. Why don't you want to talk to them?
Then they can't cancel.
Yeah, well, number one, they can't cancel. Number two, you can't give them a reason to cancel. And what happens is that when you can't give them a reason, they go, well, what's this about? What are you going to bring? What are you going to? And then you end up having your front door meeting over the phone, and you don't give them enough information to say yes, but you give them plenty of information to say no. And so that's what they do. So you want to avoid that conversation altogether on the phone. Okay? So you slide dial. And then the third way to do it is what we call a third-party confirmation. So you have a third-party call and speak to them. Like I might have my assistant call who knows nothing about anything, who would just call and say this. Hey, this is David. I'm the homeowner advocate working in your area, and I'm calling to confirm that we'll be stopping by your house. That information about getting a loan modification and other options to help you avoid foreclosure. As I can only leave the information with you, please make sure you're at home so I can deliver and briefly review the package with you. That's my slide dial message. This is new. That's of yesterday too. So this is my slide dial message that I'm leaving. Okay? Now if I'm going to have a third party call, hey, this is Joe. I'm with the homeowner advocate group. I just want to confirm that David, the homeowner advocate, is going to be in your area on Monday. Make sure you're home. Now, if I do that, if I leave the slide dial message, here's what I've learned. There's about a 75% probability that they'll be home, and there'll be about a 25% probability they won't. Yes, that's the same as if you just go direct. And then if you want to have somebody call, if you don't have an assistant and you want to call anyway, you don't want to use slide dial. Some of you may not be very comfy with this, but call as somebody else. So I might call. So if I were gonna call and confirm an appointment, I wouldn't call as David the advocate. I'd call as Joe, the appointment confirmer. Hey, this is Joe. This is Joe. I'm with the homeowner advocacy group that's going to be delivering your package on such and such date. David's going to be he's going to be stopping by. He can only leave the information with you. Please make sure you're home so he can deliver the package briefly. And then they start asking questions. Yeah, what are you delivering? I'm just the appointment center. I'm just calling to confirm the appointment. That's where the advocate will answer all those questions. Well, is he going to be shipped? I said, I'm not really sure what the contents of the package are, but the homeowner advocate will be delivering it on Tuesday. Yeah, what? Well, that's really a good question. I'm sure that David will answer it for you when he gets there. That's all you're doing. They deflect. It doesn't matter what the question is. That's the reason we're coming to answer. Those are good questions, and David will answer them when he gets there. I don't know. My job is just to confirm the appointment. Okay? I just want to make sure that you're going to be there. Okay? That's all. It's not any more complicated than that. Do you guys think this really works?
Mm-hmm. You work it.
How many of you are doing this and it works? Let me see your show of hands. Okay? So I'm not making this stuff up, right? Now, I asked Bruce here earlier, I said, are you guys out doing the program? And you said what?
Well, yeah.
And I said, are you getting in front of appointments? And you said?
There we are.
But you said too many or something like that.
Well, we have a lot. There's some weird deals that,
They're distressed, yeah.
People, they're at the end of a long process sometimes. And
That's
sometimes
right.
It's, we've called you one live after one deal. So.
That's right. So the bottom line is that if you want to get face-to-face with homeowners, there's a room. Raise your hand again for everybody who's not sure. They can come talk to you and see I won't ask you to raise your hand if you're doing this and it works. Okay? So talk to these guys. Don't take my word. I'm just telling you, there's no other system that's going to get you face-to-face with homeowners better than this one. But this is not a system you should do if you don't want to work with distressed homeowners. If you don't want to work with ugly deals. Okay? If you only want to do clean, simple deals that everybody else does, and you only want to pick low-hanging fruit, this is not the arena for you to be in. Okay? But if you really have a heart of service and you want to help people with the stress and you want to really test your real estate knowledge and you want to do deals that nobody else can get done and you want to profit like in ways that nobody, I'm not just talking about the money, I'm just talking about the feeling that you get from doing good work for your community. Okay? If you want some of that, this is a system that you've got to be in. How many of you want to know what we say when we get to the door? Okay. How many are here just for this part? And I've just been going on and on and on. All right. So let's talk about it. So you need a package. This is not a complete package, but this is kind of what my package looks like. Now, anybody know this is a manila folder? How many have access to manila folders? Okay, so you're in. How many have access to paper? So what I've done is that I've created a whole package. You want to see what's in it? This is not everything. So in my package, this is all Lee stuff. Lee created all I did was put the artistic flair on it. Okay, this is basically, content. But I got to tell you, there are people out using this program that have none of the color, that's all black and white, that's poorly reproduced. Wow. And they're killing it. Okay, they're just killing it with this system. All right, it doesn't have to be this clean, this fancy, the intent is really where it matters, okay? I just want to say, now I happen to like this. This is consistent with my style. This is the kind of presentation I like to make. This is how I like to represent myself in the services. So I like it. I happen to like it, and I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars getting my package in shape like this. But I didn't invent any of it, okay? Lee invented it. All I did was dress it up, okay? What some people might say, lipstick on a pig. I don't know. Did I say that to you, Lee? I love him. I may be the only one he lets get away with saying something silly like that. All right. So introduction letter that tells your prospect what you're going to do. And basically what this letter says is that you're a homeowner advocate that's working as part of public outreach in order to assist homeowners who are facing foreclosure, to make sure that they understand what their options are and they can make the best decision for them and their family. That's what it says. Could you mail this letter to people? Yeah. In fact, I have somebody who doesn't want to do labels, who's doing high-end areas, who went out and put her first 20 labels out. She only got one phone call. She wanted better results than that. So now she made a variation of this letter. Okay, Marcy, are you here? Okay, and variation of this letter, and she's sending it out, and we're working deals. We're working 2 deals. She sent 85 letters out, and we're working 2 deals. Can you do it by mail? Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do it. It's the concept. It's the information. People will open their mail, and if you have a compelling message, they will call you. Okay? Now, for those of you that are licensed that are doing this program, you have to have this disclaimer. It says that you are a real estate agent, whether or not you're there acting as a licensee or not. Okay? Whether or not your license is hung with a brokerage or not. Okay? You may be there for the sole purpose of being an investor. That's fine. You still have to disclose that you're licensed. Okay? Everybody understands that? You've been warned. All right. This form, this is the most used form that we use. This is something that we created from the California Homeowner Bill of Rights. Basically, this says that it eliminates dual tracking. Okay, and I'll explain more about that in a second. This is the second most used form that we use. This one and the California BRE Consumer Alert. Basically, it says it is illegal for anyone to charge upfront for loan modification services. And this is the California State Bar version of that, where it says it's illegal for attorneys to charge an upfront fee for loan modification services. Now here's the problem. Every single homeowner that I've ever encountered who's using an attorney to help them with a loan mod has been charged an upfront fee. Every single one. Has anybody ever worked, unless they were a personal friend, I'm telling you 100% of the time when they say they have an attorney helping them, they've been charged an upfront fee. In fact, if you look at loan mod scams, what little we hear anymore about loan mod scams, it's all attorneys being disbarred and suspended for charging upfront fees. Now, it's not that many anymore, but you don't hear about from real estate agents and mortgage brokers like it used to be in the heyday of loan mod scams. And not that they were scamming, but it's the attorneys now who are being disbarred for charging upfront fees. All right, so I'm going to show you how we use that when we get going. This is the homeowner assistance scams flyer. We have two versions, one California and one national. This is the truth about loan modification. This tells you why is it so hard to get a loan mod and some other information. And explains why they're not in review. This is Lee. This is Ask the Banker. This is a blog post that he wrote that we turned into a flyer. What are the real chances of me getting a loan modification? Okay? Then this is the book, a book that I wrote called How to Negotiate Your Own Loan Modification. I'm going to show you how we use that here in a second. But this is a really good book because it only confuses homeowners. And when you read it, it'll confuse you too. All right? But the part of the coaching is that we try to unscatter your brain so that you can identify the handful of salient points that you need to understand in order to properly explain it. But the bottom line, when you start using terms like front-end debt to income, back-end debt to income, pre-mod cash flow, post-mod cash flow, net present value, homeowners' eyes get like this, and then we start looking at it and we start explaining, well, here's what your target payment would be, here's what the bank is going to have to do, here's why you're going to get a loan mod, here's why you're not going to get a loan mod, you're going to get a loan mod, but your payment's probably going to go up. If you were to get a loan mod but your payment went up, would you be able to make that payment? No, I need a lower payment. Well, here's why that's not going to happen, da-da-da-da-da-da. And oftentimes in that conversation about helping them get a loan mod, they give up right on the spot. Oh, I can see why I'm not going to get a loan mod, and they go right to sale. And we don't always have to wait for them to submit it and get turned down one more time before they decide to sell. Okay? And that's especially true when we're working 1 to 21 days from foreclosure, and they've already been turned down for a loan modification 2 or 3 times. And then for the first time, we show up and explain mathematically why that happens. And then what we see is some aha moment takes place where all of a sudden they get clear about why they're not going to get a loan mod and why it's a futile attempt and why applying one more time for a loan mod may actually be counterproductive to them. And that and we shift the strategy from not getting a loan mod so they can stay in their house forever, but doing a short sale so they can begin the transition of months. Okay? Say, listen, you're not going to get a loan mod. You're going to lose your house. Okay? This is why. So the question, now my objective here is, if you're going to lose your house, I want you to lose your house with money in the bank versus losing your house with no money in the bank. And it would seem to me that the best way in order to help you transition, out of this and buy you is to buy you as much time as we can in house. See if we can get you 4, 5, 6, 7 more months at $2,000 a month in savings. That's 6 months, that's $12,000. And if you're eligible for additional incentives of $10,000, we might be able to get you out of the house with $15,000 or $20,000 or $25,000 in the bank. Now, would that be helpful to you to help get transitioned into a new home? See, if you apply for a loan mod right now, they'll put your sale on hold, but 3, 4, 5 days before the loan mod, before the foreclosure, they kick you out of the loan mod and they proceed the foreclosure. The problem is they haven't given you time in order to go anywhere else. So you're kind of playing chicken with the bank. The better strategy is to postpone it with a short sale. Now, if we can buy you 3 or 4 months, okay, and then your circumstances change where you can now be eligible for a loan mod, then we'll go back and try a loan mod. But as long as your circumstances are just like they are today, getting a loan mod is not going to be possible. So what we need to do is fight up that foreclosure for as long as possible to give you a chance for your circumstances to change, so you might be eligible for a loan mod. See, that's a different conversation. Right? That's a different conversation I got to have with them. This is the Keep Your Home California program. So this has the 5 different programs that they can do. There's one for unemployment mortgage assistance, and this is mortgage reinstatement assistance, and there's transition assistance. Principal reductions. One of the things that we like to ask them is, have you applied for for Keep Your Home California yet? Okay? Which program? All right, so we go through that, and then we got 4 or 5 page flyers. I'm going to show you how we use this in a second. And here's a new flyer we did. This is from the FTC, the mass joiner lawsuits flyer. This is the new scam that we're seeing attorneys do, where they're collecting $750 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. They put a list pendants on. They never save anybody's houses, but the attorneys are the ones getting rid. They're just basically renting the house from the attorney now. Okay? So we talked about this. And what we've done that's kind of cool is that we've made all the flyers customizable. So everywhere where you see my logo here, you can now put your logo. Okay? So you're putting your logo everywhere. And the reason why we did this is that I became aware that we would deliver the package and people would resonate with one thing, one flyer. And then they would separate